After 18 years together, my wife casually announced a date with another man, so I gave her one final warning. 18 years together. And my wife said casually, like she was reminding me to pick up milk, "I'm going on a date with another man. I'll make it up to you later." I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I didn't chase her. I looked her straight in the eyes and gave her my final warning. If you walk out that door to be with him, everything changes. There's no coming back. She smiled like I was being dramatic, and ignored the ultimatum. What happened next wasn't just consequences. It was complete destruction, the kind she never saw coming. My name is Joel Rivas. I'm 46 and I've spent the last 20 years building something real. A wholesale auto parts business in Phoenix, a beautiful home in Scottsdale, and what I believed was a solid marriage with Carolina. We met young. I was fighting to get my business off the ground and she was finishing her marketing degree. We built our life step by step. Long hours, tight budgets, small wins that turned into a stable life. We had 2 kids, Benjamin, 16, and Sophia, 11. They were the center of everything I did. That night started like any other Tuesday. I got home from the warehouse around 6, loosened my tie, and walked into the kitchen expecting the sound of dinner being made. Instead, I found Carolina leaning against the counter, wine glass in hand, staring out the window with this distant expression she'd been wearing more and more lately. "Hey," I said, kissing her cheek. She barely reacted. "We need to talk," she said. My stomach tightened. Carolina swirled the wine like she was searching for courage at the bottom of the glass. "I feel trapped," she said, not looking at me. "I need something that makes me feel alive again." "What do you mean?" I asked. "A trip? A class? A change?" She finally looked up. "I'm going out with someone." I blinked, sure I misheard. "What?" "A date," she said like it was no big deal. "He's from work." My whole body went cold. "A date? Carolina, you're married. We have children." She set the glass down and shrugged. "It's not against you, Joel. I need to be me again. I'll make it up to you later." That part was worse than the date itself, the way she said it like I was owed some future discount for being betrayed. I stood up slowly. "If you walk out that door to be with another man," I said, voice steady, "this changes everything. There's no undoing it." Carolina grabbed her purse like she was running an errand. "I just need space to figure out who I am," she said. And she walked out. I didn't stop her. I stood there frozen as the door closed behind her, and in that moment, I knew something I didn't want to know. The woman I thought I knew wasn't there anymore. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in my office staring at a blank wall, hearing every sound of the house. The AC, the fridge kicking on, the silence between them. Around 10, Benjamin came downstairs. "Where's Mom?" "She went out with friends," I lied. He stared at me like he didn't believe it, because he didn't. When he went back upstairs, I opened our bank account. That's when I saw it. Not one big charge, small ones. Carefully spaced out. Restaurants, boutique stores, a spa. 3 months of spending that looked normal, if you weren't paying attention. She'd been planning this. At 2 a.m., Carolina finally came home. She looked refreshed. Happy. "You're still up?" she asked. I didn't even pretend. "How was your date?" "It was fine," she said, not meeting my eyes. "This isn't about you." I stared at her, trying to understand how someone could say that after 18 years. "You're my wife," I said. "You're the mother of our children." Carolina turned toward the stairs. "I'm tired of being just Joel's wife and the kids' mom," she said. "I need to be me." "Who is he?" I asked. She hesitated just long enough to tell me the truth was optional. "Ignacio," she said. "Ignacio Fuentes. Sales manager." "How long?" I asked. She paused. "Months." Months. So she hadn't just stepped over a line. She'd been living on the other side of it. She went upstairs with her purse still on her shoulder, like she wasn't even ashamed. I watched her disappear, and something inside me shifted. The pain didn't go away, but it hardened into something else, determination. She wanted to play with my life. Fine. What she didn't understand was who she was playing against. The next morning I called my brother. "Sebastian," I said the second he answered. "I need help. Carolina is cheating. And I need to know everything." Sebastian didn't hesitate. "I know a guy," he said. "Best private investigator in Phoenix. Let me make a call." When I hung up, my eyes landed on the framed family photo on my desk. Carolina, me, Benjamin, Sophia, smiling on a beach 3 years ago. It looked like a picture from someone else's life. That family didn't exist anymore. What was left had to be protected. On Friday morning, I met Sebastian at a small diner near my warehouse. He took one look at me and shook his head. "You look terrible." "I feel worse," I said. I told him everything, her date, the bank activity, the name. 18 years. Sebastian's jaw clenched. "She's throwing it away for a guy from her office," he muttered. "I need to know if this is emotional or if she crossed other lines," I said. Sebastian slid a number across the table. "Ricardo Molina. Investigator. He's expensive. But worth it." Then he leaned in. "Joel, do not confront her. Collect evidence quietly. When it's time, hit her with everything. Cold. Strategic. Necessary." That afternoon I called Ricardo. 2 hours later I was in his office downtown. Plain building, plain door, nothing flashy. Ricardo was in his 60s. Sharp eyes. Calm voice. He reviewed the financials and schedules like this was math. "Your wife isn't being discreet," he said. "That helps." He looked up. "Do you want to know if Ignacio is the only one?" My stomach dropped. "You think there could be more?" "When someone throws away an 18-year marriage this casually," he said, "it's rarely their first time crossing lines." I signed the contract, paid the retainer, and went home acting normal. That part was the hardest, because the house was full of normal things. Dinner smells, homework, Sophia talking about planets like the universe was still safe. Carolina played the role of perfect wife like she was trained for it. Smiling, nodding, laughing at the right times. And I played along. But inside I was counting days. 10 days later my phone buzzed at my desk. "Ricardo, we need to meet. I have what you asked for." 30 minutes later I was sitting across from him. A thick folder sat on the desk like a weapon. Before I opened it, Ricardo said quietly, "Prepare yourself. This is going to hurt." "Show me," I said. The first photo was Carolina and Ignacio walking into a hotel in Tempe. Date. Time. Clear shot. Then another, restaurant. Her hand on his arm. Laughing too close. Another, kissing in a parking garage like they had nothing to lose. Ricardo slid over the bank report. "She transferred money from your joint account to a private account in her name. Almost $40,000 in 4 months." I felt my chest tighten. "She didn't just cheat," I said. "She stole." "And there's more," Ricardo added. "Ignacio has been asking for info about your clients. Contacts. Vendors. He's using her." I closed the folder carefully. My hands were steady, but my heart was not. "This is enough for court," I said. "More than enough," Ricardo replied. I left and called an attorney right there in the parking lot. Paula Valdez. Impeccable. Sure. Unapologetic. She studied the evidence and nodded once. "Your wife made serious mistakes," she said. "We move fast. We file for divorce and primary custody." "I want my kids," I said. "Primary custody. And you'll get it," she replied. "But prepare yourself, she will counterattack." That night I sat Benjamin down in my office. At 16 he deserved the truth. "Your mother and I are divorcing," I said. "I'm filing this week." His face went pale, and then his eyes hardened. "So it's true," he whispered. "You knew?" I asked. He nodded. "I've seen her texting and leaving." I didn't want to believe it. I swallowed the lump in my throat. "I'm fighting for primary custody," I said. "I need you to trust me." Benjamin looked at me and said something that broke my heart and healed it at the same time. "I want to stay with you, Dad. No matter what." 2 days later, Carolina got served at work. At exactly 6, she stormed into the kitchen holding the papers like they were burning her. "What the hell is this?" she shouted, right in front of Sophia. "Sophia," I said gently, "go to your room, sweetheart." She hesitated, scared, then ran upstairs. Carolina slammed the papers on the counter. "You can't do this," she hissed. "You can't take my children." "I'm not taking them," I said calmly. "You walked away from them when you decided Ignacio was more important than your family." Her face twisted. "This is about control," she snapped. "You're controlling, Joel. You always have been." I opened my phone and pulled up the photos. "This is about 18 years you threw away for a man who's using you," I said. "And you stole $40,000 while you were at it." Carolina's eyes widened. Her voice cracked. "You followed me? You drained our account?" I said. "Don't talk to me about privacy." Her arrogance collapsed like cheap drywall. "Joel, please," she whispered. "We can fix this. It was a mistake." "No," I said firm. "You don't get to play victim now." Then she changed tactics. "Think about the kids," she said. "Benjamin and Sophia need their mother. I am thinking about them, I replied. That's why they're going to have at least one stable parent. Carolina glared at me, shaking. I'll ruin you, she said. I'll tell everyone who you really are. Do it, I said. I have 18 years of being a good husband and father. You have 6 months of hotel receipts and lies. Let's see who people believe. She grabbed her purse and left. After the door shut, Benjamin came downstairs. He'd heard everything. Dad? He asked quietly, are we going to be okay? I pulled him into a hug. Yes, I said. We're going to be okay. 2 days later, Carolina exploded on social media. A dramatic post about emotional control, surviving manipulation, how she finally found the courage to speak her truth. Her friends flooded the comments. Hearts, support, praise. And for a moment I understood what she was doing. She wasn't trying to tell the truth. She was trying to win the crowd. But here's the thing. When you lie in public, you create witnesses. And she didn't realize how many people knew the real story. One of her oldest friends commented, Carolina, I love you, but this doesn't make sense. Joel has always been an amazing husband and father. Minutes later, Carolina deleted the comment and blocked her. That same friend called me. I'm sorry, she said. But she's lying. She's been talking about Ignacio for months, making fun of you, calling you boring. I stayed calm. Would you testify to that? I asked. Pause. Then, yes. Then something happened I never expected. A number I didn't recognize called me. This is Camila, a woman said. Ignacio Fuentes' ex-wife. My stomach dropped. She spoke like she'd been holding rage for years. Your wife isn't the first, Camila said. Ignacio targets married women at work. Uses them for access and contacts. Then drops them. I have receipts, messages, screenshots. Everything. I hung up and called Paula immediately. Paula's voice turned almost amused. Joel, she said, your wife just handed us the entire case. At the final hearing, the courtroom felt heavy. Carolina sat with a nervous young attorney who looked like he'd never fought a real case. Paula sat beside me with a thick file, organized, labeled, unstoppable. Paula presented the photos, the bank transfers, the testimony. Camila testified about Ignacio's pattern. Then Benjamin took the stand. He looked toward me for 1 second, then faced the judge. My dad takes care of us, he said. He's the one who cooks, helps with school, shows up. My mom hasn't been present. I want to live with my dad. Carolina's face cracked. Not from heartbreak. From reality. The judge ruled, primary physical custody to me. Supervised visitation for Carolina. Repayment of the money she took. And legal fees. When it ended, Sophia ran into my arms outside the courthouse. Is it over, Dad? I kissed her forehead. Yes, I said. It's over. 8 months later, life found a rhythm again. Benjamin started talking about colleges. Sophia joined a soccer team. I sold the Scottsdale house, too many memories, and bought a smaller place north of Phoenix with a big backyard. For the first time in a long time, it felt like a home, not a battlefield. Carolina's supervised visits were uncomfortable. At first she showed up quiet, reduced, unrecognizable. And just like Camila predicted, Ignacio dropped her 2 months after the divorce. Without my contacts, without my money, without stability, Carolina stopped being useful. One Saturday after dropping off Sophia, she asked to talk. I'm sorry, she whispered, eyes swollen. I ruined our family. I looked at her for a long moment. I appreciate you saying it, I said. But it doesn't change anything. Decisions still have consequences. She nodded, crying. Can I ask for more time with the kids? If you prove stability, I said, therapy, work, no Ignacio, no chaos, the court may reconsider. But that depends on you. She left shaking. And for the first time I felt something unexpected. Not hope for us. Hope that maybe she could become someone worthy, for the kids. That evening I sat outside while Benjamin and Sophia laughed in the yard, kicking around an old soccer ball. No tension. No walking on eggshells. Just peace. And I realized something I wish I'd learned earlier. Sometimes the final warning isn't to save a marriage. It's to save yourself. Because when someone treats your loyalty like it's negotiable, you don't bargain. You build a new life, quietly, carefully, and you let them discover too late what they destroyed.